The Marufo Vega Trail, one of Big Bend's least traveled and most dangerous hikes. Heat is the number one danger on this trail, but lack of water, the remote nature of the trail, and technical hiking are also contributing factors. And this turns out to be one of the most challenging hikes I've ever taken. But before we dig in, check out these new aluminum SpongeBob bottles. And a quick sneak peek at this new tobacco pipe. Yeah, tobacco pipe. Now I promise you, this trail does provide some beautiful views of the Rio Grande River Valley and the beautiful mountain vistas of Mexico. But loose rock trails and steep elevation, both up and down, will require you to be very vigilant in watching your feet. So this trail has two separate mini loops in it. I'll show you on the map here quick. And we're on the second loop now. We're gonna take the North Fork, which All Trails recommends for best views. And we're gonna try to do probably 8 miles of this 12 or 13 mile loop today. So this trail is marked for experienced hikers only. And that is not to say that I'm the world's most experienced hiker. But I am smart enough to know that when people die on this trail, it's because they're out in hot temperatures. And today is only about 55 degrees and a perfect time to hike a dangerous trail like this. Exposure to heat has claimed the lives of 3 hikers on this trail. But out here, even a simple fall could prove deadly. Today I'm carrying the 24/7 by Hilltop Packs. It's about a 30-liter pack with all the extra pockets. At any rate, all the weight is on my shoulders, and about 4 liters of water and a monster in liquid is about 21 pounds. Camp spot.
Are we going down that?
I guess we're going down that. Oh shit.
I see the eye. The eye of the dragon. I want to be down there.
Yeah, I want to be down there too, as fast as possible. Whoa.
You alright?
Yep.
Don't break the tripod.
Yeah.
Can't afford to lose another one. I'm literally like rock climbing right now. No clips or strength. Freehand.
On the telephone, I'm on a wavelength far from home.
Because I had a coupon, so.
That's called Satan's anus. Up here is our first glimpse of the Rio Grande River and Mexico. I'm sure a lot of Americans wonder what it's like down here on the border. And we're going to be camping right on the Mexican border. And being close in proximity, I don't ever really see any major catastrophes or mass illegal crossings. Have never been talked about in the community I live in. And am I afraid to backpack and camp on the Mexican border? Not really. The river section is relatively flat and stunning, with beautiful views of the river and the surrounding mountains in Mexico. And as enticing as the Rio Grande River may look, they don't even recommend you drink filtered water from it. Using All Trails, I mapped out a campsite, but it required a huge climb. We're about a mile from camp, but that mile is straight up about 800 feet. So it's going to take a little while. No camera on earth will ever portray these kinds of climbs.
63 and sunny. These elements are so
This climb was no joke, especially after 6 miles of technical hiking. And after feeling like we may never get to camp, we did. I discovered this campsite using the waypoint feature on All Trails.
seriously?
Yep. Set up, cook, self-medicate, and go to sleep. That's tonight's plan. So while we're cooking, let's talk about this spaceship smoking device. Designed for your convenience, to hold your stash and be a pipe all in one. Perhaps it was user error, but I found it to be utterly useless. Our dinner choice, however, was a pleasant surprise. Shout out to my friend Daniel for this delightful dish. Real low expectations of the Chad Mendez backcountry bison bowl. But I'm very pleasantly surprised. It's chili-ish, I would say, with rice. Tasty. Everything rehydrated great. I'd give it a 4.5 probably. What about you? A 4.5?
Well, the biscuit bites are a little bit big, and then they're crunchy. And I didn't absorb the water. But otherwise, yeah.
Is either a senior officer at counterterror CTC or Alex Station Bin Laden unit decided to collect
soil? Where was Sec?
Salseros se llaman. Yo vengo. Salseros se llaman. Yo vengo. Salseros se llaman. Yo vengo.
Perhaps you noticed I slept on a new sleeping pad last night. It was the new Kilos gear. I don't remember what it's called. Aero Cloud or something. But if that bad boy turns out to be durable, aka does not lose air or pop like every sleeping pad I've had in my life, it's going to be the hidden gem of backpacking. It's thicker, it's longer, it's just a lot better sleeping pad altogether, and I slept like a baby. Hiking out 5 miles this morning. We made it through the night safely, even though we're on that oh so dangerous Mexican border. Not a bad place to wake up though. I do not love mornings, but I do love a morning hike, and this one was exceptional. The sun was shining, and today's hike was far less intense, with a few small climbs, but mostly flats and downhills. So this hike has gone anywhere from, I would guess, half a mile an hour to this morning where we've done about 2.5 miles in 1 hour. So there's a lot of different varieties of trail, and it's slow going in some spots. Right now we're on the straight section between the two loops, coming up on the junction where we will take the last little section of unhiked trail on the Marufo Vega trail. We're about halfway down this crazy little series of tiny loose rock switchbacks down the mountain, in which we will end this part and get back on the lollipop stick of the loop. But first we got to make it to the bottom of this without breaking an ankle. We are about half a mile from the car, and this has been quite the literal adventure. Lots of pretty insane ups and downs, loose rock trails, challenging to say the least. And again, we did this yesterday, most of it anyway, when the temps were in the 70s, or excuse me, in the 50s. Today they're in the 70s. And I personally can't imagine doing this even if it was 10 degrees hotter than it is right now. Because it is just a different kind of heat in the desert. And you'd have to carry more water than I'd be willing to carry on an overnight. We carried about 4.5 liters apiece. In my case, that included a monster, but I count that as a liquid. But we're close to the car, the 24/7 pack. My shoulders were a little sore last night, but I think right at about 20 pounds. It's very comfortable to carry for somebody in, mediocre shape like myself. The Kilo Skier sleeping pad was amazing. And I mean the best sleeping pad I've ever slept on. But the test of time for me is how many times do I sleep on it before something goes wrong? A valve, a puncture I can't find. I've just been frustrated, which is another reason I prefer a hammock. Tara is a true historian, and she informed me that this is remnants of the old zip line from back in the day. Right?
Right.
This was an amazing adventure, and we made it safely back to the car. But before we go, we decided to stop and get a cold beverage from an old friend. Look at that. And then on to some Touron watching, followed by some El Gordos. And this time, I didn't get a cheeseburger. Thanks for joining us. It's been a real blast. We'll see you real soon.